Hey guys, Captain Dexter here from Fanatic Sport Fishing Charters. I know a lot of you guys have been asking me how to prepare your fish to be frozen or just to be eaten when you get home. So when you guys leave the boat, this is what you get. You have a sectioned loin. It's still got the dark meat on it, and you have to turn it into one of these, a steak. All right? So you can use any kind of like long knife that you have. This is just a cheap fillet knife from Cast King. I got it on Amazon. It was like $20, but it works just fine. So you have your loin here. You want to kind of decide how thick you like them to be. I like them to be about maybe 1.25 inches, possibly up to 1.5 inches. Any thicker than that, it's totally preference. But so I'm going to go ahead and take my loin. I want to steak it up exactly how I want it. Your last piece, sometimes you just kind of have to pick where the middle is, otherwise you wind up with a super small or super wide piece. So I've got all my steaked pieces here, right? And as you can see, there's your dark meat. This is the reason why we don't cut the dark meat off at the dock. So now that I have this as a steak, I can put this right down here. I can pinch the steak like this, and then what that does is push the dark meat out. Now my fillet knife can basically cut that off like this. And as you can see, I barely missed any of the actual pink meat. Mostly all dark stuff, right? So I don't waste a lot this way. And then in here, it's all good, right? So now I've got a steak. If you've got anything on here that you don't like, you want to cut off, now's the time to do it. And as that is, I'm happy with that. So now what I'm going to do is, as you see over here, I've already have some that are done. I'm putting them on paper towels, and I'm just letting them sit. I have the ceiling fan on. Just try to air these out as much as possible, because any moisture that's in these steaks is going to expand when you put it in the freezer, and it's going to make it mushy. So if you don't like your steaks after you've frozen them, it's probably because there's too much moisture in them. So I'm going to go ahead and cut all these real quick. It's pretty quick, pretty easy. I got a pile of junk meat right here. It's just dark meat and anything that might be, maybe it got wet from some ice or something, but if it's mushy, you want to cut it off. All right. I tend to cut more off than I save sometimes, because I want these steaks to be like ready to eat. When I pull these out of the package and I vacuum seal them, the only thing I do is I rinse them with fresh water after they've been thawed. Don't do that before you package them, because they will be awful. I rinse them in fresh water in the sink, just to realistically, honestly, just to make sure that there's no scales or anything on them, because they did come from a whole fish. So, and they can be cooked, right? So speaking of that, I actually like, when I cut these, I like to cut them into rectangles, like there and there, or there and there. That way, and I'll put a picture in here, you can make them into, like, you can roll them when you cook them, and it comes out really nice. Really nice. And then you can slice them. I'll put a picture in the video for you. So here's something else. You can put these in Ziploc bags if you don't have a vacuum sealer. Vacuum sealer is obviously the preferred method, because it preserves them a little bit better. These meat pads here help a lot. You can buy these on Amazon. I think it's like $12 for like 100 of them or something. But what they are is they're just these little absorbent pads. And the same thing that when you buy chicken at the grocery store, they're underneath of it, absorbs the moisture, helps keep it from freezer burning. And I actually have one over here that I did. So this is one that I vacuum sealed already. And as you can see on the bottom, it's already absorbing moisture. And these were already out for a while, air drying and on paper towels. So those things I highly recommend, especially with tuna, because it really does make a difference. I can eat these like 6 months later, and they're still, they still taste good. Not as good as fresh. Nothing's ever better as good as fresh, but still very good. if you do put them in a Ziploc bag, that's fine too, but just try to make sure you get as much of the air out as physically possible. So, all right, enjoy. See you at the dock. Tight lines.